Hey, I'm Greg Batlin. We're here in Egypt with a team of volunteers from Quiet Hour Ministries. This is Missions Today. Egypt, with its population of 87 million people, has a long history that precedes the times of even Moses. Its famous biblical landmarks and crown jewel, the Nile River, brings life to the heart of the world's largest desert. It's been quite the culture shock for our team, waking up to the sounds of the call to prayer every morning. And in this culture that's 90% Muslim, our team is here to give humanitarian aid and to share saving grace.
I'm really anxious to see the people. I know they're very warm, inviting people. I'm really anxious to just meet the people here.
Welcome to Masra.
Love the kids. They are so loving and everyone wants to be your friend. It's fun loving and being loved.
They're making me take pictures of them. So I have a lot. I'm running out of room.
I love the food. We had this one Egyptian dish. What was it called?
Kushri.
Kushri? Yes, that was great.
Jim, our trip leader, introduced the mayor to our whole group. It ended up that he was actually a pretty cool guy. First, it was just us. It was just a couple of girls. Oh, let's take a selfie. And then he came up to us and he was like, Azur, and he would point to himself. And so we'd take a picture of him, but then he'd be like, no, I want to take it with you. So he like sat right in front of us on the stairs. And then we're like, okay, let's point at him because this guy's the man. He's the boss man. And so we pointed at him and he didn't really know what we were doing with our fingers. And so he kind of like posed. And honestly, it turned out to be an awesome picture. He laughed and it was a good time.
Every musician or child's leader dream is to have a whole bunch of kids, especially that are that interactive with you. You know, you start singing a song and they all want to do exactly what you do and sing songs with you. But we notice very quickly that they have a little bit too much energy.
So as we play, it gets kind of raucous. It's like a mini mosh pit, and sometimes you have some kids misbehaving, pushing each other, pulling hair. Fortunately for us, we have one of the church elders we nicknamed the Enforcer, walks around with a stick and smacks the kid on the head. Not too hard, but enough to let them know that, you know, stop. And it's effective. It's amazing.
There's so many kids. I can't even count how many there are. So we didn't have, enough materials to do really, really fun stuff.
So they had to share, and the kids were very smart, which I applaud them for. They would break the crayons in half. We weren't, to share, which is great. I thought that was very sweet to share.
So today we had two separate church services, one especially for us, the missionary team, and another one for the Egyptians who speak Arabic.
Worshipping today in Egypt is quite different than what we find at home. First, when you walked into the compound, you kind of heard this chanting with cymbals and a beat, and it was very intriguing, but it didn't have any melody to it or harmony. So that's the first thing I noticed here. Very loud. You can tell that there's worship going on.
With Jim giving us his morning devotionals, encouragement for the day, and at the evening, just debriefing and kind of seeing how we can improve it's been a great environment to work in.
We have so many different people on these trips with so many different stories to share that it's a nice time to get to know people more and to just open up and connect with each other and connect with God.
It's really encouraging. I'll be honest, it's very encouraging for me just because I have a hard time knowing that, I'm going through another day of clinic and craziness that comes with that. So it's really refreshing.
We had various discussions. The main point of it was basically talking about how we can reflect God's character and touch everyone's lives, even through a simple hug. A lot of times we focus on, the long run and how we want to see what we can, impact on the world and things like that. But it really is just, seeing what's in front of us and doing what God has set in front of us to do and just doing that. And I think that in itself is a success.
We're just getting ready for our clinic. We're just getting ready to get things organized, and clinic starts in about an hour, and hopefully everything will work well.
This is so exciting. Super exciting. I'm going to forget all of my Arabic in about 30 seconds though. My heart rate is beating a little right now.
The first day we were here, we got to do a quick tour of the town, meet some of the locals, some of the prominent families in the community. One of them was the local tailor who makes the men's galabeas, which are their local dress here. Unfortunately for this man, in recent years, his eyesight's been kind of going on him. And as you can imagine, when you're trying to put thread in your needle, that's going to be kind of tough if you can't see. So he was extremely thankful that we were going to be here doing an eye clinic. About 2 days later in the clinic, I saw him in line, and he was one of the first people to get through and get checked out and get some glasses. And I got a beautiful shot of him, his test to see if the glasses were good. It was not the eye chart. It wasn't the 1, 2, 3, or in this case, the E's and the W's and what have you. It was, he brought a needle with him, and I thought that was pretty ingenious. And he took that needle up and he looked at it, and he said, no. And then one of our team members went back, got a new pair of glasses, fitted it again, he looked at it, he's like, On the third pair, they nailed it. He got a huge smile on his face. I got a wonderful shot, and he walked away with a brand new pair of glasses, courtesy of Quiet Hour.
I was usually up in triage where they needed the most help. I think the most precious moments that I have we're in those rooms because we actually get to pray with them. And a lot of the cases, we've seen a couple serious cases. You know, it's heartbreaking to see, especially with the young kids where their lifespan is to 15 or something like that. And so we kind of have to break the bad news and saying that there's nothing that we can do, but would you like us to pray with you? And you know, a lot of the times they're not Christian and they're Muslim, and they'll say yes reluctantly, but in the end, you know, they'll have tears in their eyes, or you know, in the end they give you a huge hug and give you a million kisses. And I think that's just one of the most precious moments that I've had in my life. So.
My friend Tracy, who is just so happy to be on the trip and wants to put forth all the effort that she can, decided that, you know, if I gave her a session of going through cleanings and instruments and sterilizing and stuff like that she'll be more than willing to put forth the effort and do the cleanings for us. So we've established a 3-man team. The first day, we had a little girl come in and she had a fairly large abscess by one of her molars, and she needed that tooth extracted as fast as possible. And both her parents were standing beside her while we gave her the anesthesia because she was not too excited to have a needle stuck into an abscess. And so once we started the procedure, we got the needle in there and the dad started walking away from us, and the mother was trying to pull him back. I guess she didn't want him to leave the daughter at such a, you know, a vital stage of the procedure, and he was actually passing out. So that was the first instance of someone passing out.
So because of the recent unrest here in Egypt, they've taken our security very seriously here. Right now we're in our security motorcade. The police are in front of us. They're always with us. We're in the film crew car. Then we have 2 vans with our team members behind us, and behind them is a truck full of armed policemen. So we're having some car issues right now. The car keeps stalling that we're riding in here. This is how we do it in Egypt. We're actually going to get actively towed. They're tying the rope right here to the police truck, to our film crew car, and we're going to be in an active tow situation. Police officers were literally just spanking our driver because apparently he let the car run out of gas. That's what this whole debacle has been about. We ran out of gas.
Being in a country that's not your native tongue, and especially being in a place where they speak Arabic predominantly, you rely on the translators to be able to both translate the words but also translate the thoughts, and also protect you against saying things that you shouldn't say. And so a lot of times I will review the sermons with the pastor. There were references in my sermons that were inappropriate for the culture, and he caught them and he pulled them out. And so the translation, a skilled translator, is not just translating the words. They're translating the thoughts, they're translating the message, and they're translating the culture for you at the same time.
In June 2013, a revolution happened in Egypt to get rid of the Muslim brother President Mohamed Morsi. There were a sequence of revolutions and demonstrations around the country, and eventually it came to the church and affected not only our church but many other churches.
I'm born here, and this is my church since I was born. And in August 2013,
it was a normal Wednesday morning, and nothing was different. Sun was shining, people were going to work. Everything looked the same as any other day until at about 10 o'clock in the morning, my parents heard loud banging on the front door of the church. And my father looked from the window and found a big number of terrorists and outlaws surrounding the church.
Some went through this street, starting with this church, because this is the first street from this side, and they broke into the church, set the first floor on fire, and then went upstairs and stole everything.
And then they went up to the flat to where my parents were staying, and they basically wanted to kill them.
Inspired by these mission stories? Be a part of the story by joining us on a mission trip. Find out more and sign up now at qhministries.org or call us at 800-900-9021.
In my former church, under the building was this long 140-foot tunnel. When you closed both doors on either end, it became pitch black. My daughter, who was quite young at the time, was very enamored with that tunnel. She wanted to go inside, but it was so dark, so scary. Finally, we struck a deal. Daddy, she said, I'll go in there as long as you promise to hold my hand. Well, that is God's promise to us. When He calls us to scary, dark places, His promise is, I will go with you. You remember the story of Moses, where Moses objected, saying, I can't go to Egypt. I stutter. I'm not a good speaker. And God gives this promise, Exodus chapter 3, verse 12, I will be with you. God squelches Moses' doubts by promising His presence. Remember that. Next time God calls you to a scary adventure, maybe it's going on a quiet hour mission trip. Perhaps it's emptying out your savings account in order to invest in the kingdom of God. Whatever it is, know this: God will be with you.
Want to hear more mission stories and have a behind-the-scenes look at our worldwide ministry? Follow us on social media. We're at QH Ministries on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Welcome back to Missions Today. We're here in Egypt checking out the amazing historical sites.
The pyramids are super, super big, like really a lot bigger than I expected. You see them on Google or in movies or on TV, but they're like huge.
This is one of the places where Jesus and his family stayed when they were traveling through Egypt.
Our worships here have been great. We have a diverse set of people and very musical people.
You're the light in this darkness.
Having worship every morning and evening is vital to running this mission trip.
It gives us time to kind of come together and really refocus ourselves as to why we're here.
There's no one like our
We eat breakfast, we go down and have worship with everyone, and we're all super tired still, trying to wake up.
So it kind of jumpstarts our day. You know, we started off with some songs.
David will have his guitar, Melissa and Jenny and Katie and I will be singing along.
things are still to be done in this city.
It reminds us of why we're here and that God is bigger than the problems that we're facing, and that really in the end it's not our job to do any of that. And as I lead worship and sing songs with people, it brings we sing songs that are reminders of that, and so that's what I try to do when I lead worship at home, and it's the same here.
We're here in the village of Tatalia, where a brand new church is being constructed by Quiet Hour Ministries. Quiet Hour sponsors churches and chapels all over the world because of our donors, and they make a huge lasting impact in their communities and for the gospel. You can be a part of this by visiting qhministries.org/chapels. This is Wahid. Wahid is one of our interpreters. He's been helping us out at our medical sites with our team. And this is his church, this is his village. He's going to give us a tour of this new church that's being built.
This is our sanctuary, and in front of here is going to be the stage. Here's our basement, and it's a very huge basement, and we're going to use it for the teenagers. And here's our roof. It's gonna be we're gonna put a metal roof up here because of the sun, and we're gonna do some children activities, and maybe we're gonna make some classes for them to learn Arabic and English as well. If we finish this as soon as we can, it's gonna be a blessing to God. So we can bring more people, get more people to worship God and to be friends with us.
They broke into the church, set the first floor on fire, and then went upstairs and stole everything.
So they broke the apartment door, and they came inside the flat where my parents live, and they were looking for my parents, but God inspired them, and they found a place to hide where terrorists could not find them. And the reason they could not find them is smoke started coming up very strongly. They were afraid that fire will come to them, so they ran down. By the time they ran down, my parents could manage to come up from their place, but they could not see anything because of the smoke. They immediately hurried to the window. They opened the window and tried to call for help. By God's grace, their life was spared one more time.
Some neighbors gave or brought a wooden ladder and set it up there for the pastor and his wifey to go downstairs, and they managed to go to the next building roof, which is a pharmacy.
But as soon as they came to the ground, they were surrounded again with terrorists. And they were armed terrorists. They wanted to kidnap them, they wanted to kill them. But again, God sent them some good men, and they were Muslim men. And these men stopped the terrorists, took my parents to their house and hosted them for one night, gave them clothes, and kept them there until they safely traveled the next day to Cairo.
Our group has been so busy at the medical clinics that they haven't had as much time as they wanted to help out here at this church. But the little bit of work that they have been able to do has been of great encouragement to the locals here.
From the outside, this place is amazing. Apparently it was a sultan's palace, so the outside was with bright colors. It was beautiful.
When I got inside, I realized just, the heart of the church, which, where the people actually hang out, where the people sit and worship, where they pray, where they counsel each other, is just destroyed.
So the team members that visited the Suit Church had the opportunity to go out and clean out all the rubble.
The church members had been waiting for over a year for somebody to come and help them clean it. And to watch some of them walking through right now and seeing it, just to see the smiles on their faces and the tears of joys in their eye, it just makes it all worth it. A lady just walked up to the house and she has something wrong with her baby, and she asked the doctor if he would mind taking a look at her, and Dr. Berry graciously said yes, and so we're doing it at FAM right now.
It's a little infection, and just need to open it up a little bit and put some antibiotic ointment on it. Yeah, easy. Not serious. It will go away.
We get so caught up in our day-to-day, and to get away from that and see another person live and struggle and to be able to help out with that in some way, shape, or form is a good reminder that that's something that we can do in our own context.
Don't feel like you don't have the proper skills to contribute to the group. You can always learn a new skill.
It also helps you realize that life is a lot bigger than who you are and where you live.
It's just an experience that you can't have anywhere else. It's not necessarily the place, it's the people that you come into contact with and to treat. That's what really impacts me as a person.
It's just such a fulfilling experience. It opens your mind to the world. It opens your mind to how other people live. And being an American, it kind of lets you know how much you take for granted that other countries just don't have available to them.
It's such a humbling experience. It helped me to find purpose in life.
Before we headed out on this trip, I didn't know what to expect. With all the recent turmoil, there was definitely security concerns. But I'm so glad we came because we were able to make an impact and form lifelong friendships in the process. Come join us on a Quiet Hour mission trip and find out what that's like. And join us next time on Missions Today. So we've got an awesome contest happening right now. You could be chosen to join us on an all-expenses-paid mission trip. So head over to qhministries.org/contest and write us as to why you should be chosen.